In this lesson, you will choose the crime that will be the focus of your mystery. Now, as you'll recall from the introduction, I mentioned that in real life, crime is a bad thing. When a crime happens in the real world, it means either that somebody's been hurt, property's been damaged, or some other very negative situation has occurred that has serious consequences. So again, in real life, we hope we never see a crime. But in a mystery, we need a crime, and we need it to be a good crime. And when I say a good crime, it doesn't mean that people are doing things that are positive or kind. It means that our mystery passes two tests. The crime meets two criteria. The first thing, the crime needs to be fixable. Now, if you think about all the different crimes there are in the world, most of them aren't fixable. When people get hurt, you really can't fix that. If property's been damaged, can't really fix that. For example, if I park my car on a street and I walk inside a building, then I come back an hour later and I notice that somebody has poked holes in all four tires of my car, there's no way to undo that. The damage has already been done. Of course, I can go buy new tires, and once they're installed, they'll work fine, but that costs me money. And once the new tires are installed, I am still worse off than I was before the crime because I had to spend my own money. There's lasting damage, this time to my finances because I'm out a little bit of money. So in our mystery, we don't want there to be any lasting damage. We want the good guys to be in the same position they were in before the crime, after the crime. So in my mind, there's only one kind of fixable crime. And when talking to kids, I suggest that there's really only one type of crime they want to have in their mystery, and that's a theft. And in a theft, that means something gets stolen. Now, when something gets stolen, the crime solver tries to find it by the end of the story, and if he or she does, then everything is as good as new at the end. So there's no lasting damage if something is stolen and then it's found in the same condition it was at the beginning of the story. Now, you are free to choose any type of crime for your mystery, but I will be going through these videos and talking as if you have chosen a theft, because that is the one that I recommend. But you'll know that every time I mention a theft, you might have a different type of crime than that. So one of the tests that a good crime needs to pass, in my opinion, in a mystery, is that it is fixable, and the only way to pick a fixable crime is to pick a theft where something gets stolen that can later be found. The second test that a crime has to pass is that it's important. Imagine you're at school one day and you leave your desk and you come back and you notice that your eraser is gone. Somebody has taken your eraser from your desk. Now, obviously, that's not a good thing. It's not a happy thing. It's going to make you upset. But I think you'll admit it is not the most important thing in the whole world if it's just one little eraser. If I wrote Chase Against Time about an eraser being stolen, I don't think kids would have gotten excited about it. I doubt any kids would have run to their parents, pull on their clothing, jump up and down and say, "Mom, Dad, I need this new book now. Take me to the library right now. It's about an eraser gets stolen. Take me to the library this instant. I can't wait to find out what happens to this eraser. Does it get found?" So again, something little like that really isn't important. Your readers are unlikely to care very much about something small like an eraser. So when you have your crime, and again, I'm assuming it's a theft, you have to figure out what's going to get stolen. What is going to be so important that it is a very big deal when it goes missing? What are readers likely to care about if it's stolen and not found? So back many years ago when I was writing Chase Against Time, I spent a lot of time thinking about what the crime was going to be. I knew it was going to be a theft, but it took me quite a bit of time to figure out what was going to get stolen. So I knew the book would take place in a school because I'm a teacher and that's what I know best, and I thought that would be a very interesting setting. So I started thinking about all the things in a school that could get stolen. At first I started thinking about things in my own classroom, but none of them seemed to be that important. If a pencil or eraser or a book got stolen, yes, it's a bad thing, but I don't think everybody in the school would have cared about it, and I don't think readers would have found that very interesting or important. Then I remembered that many schools, and my school in particular where I teach, have music programs, and in our school, music is incredibly important. So I figured, what if the school's music program was about to get cut because the school didn't have any money to pay for it the next year? That would be a big deal. People would care about that. The students, the teachers, the parents, the entire school community would think it's a big deal if a school's music program was going to get cut. Then I figured, what if it wasn't just any music program? What if the school, in my book, had the best music program in the state? What if their orchestra wins the state championships every year? And then this program is about to get cut. So the school has one chance to save its music program. The local adult orchestra, the community orchestra, donates a beautiful handcrafted cello to the school. And it just so happens that the day the book takes place on is the day or the night of the school's big annual fundraising dinner. And at that dinner, the school is going to auction off the cello. And if somebody buys it for enough money to save the school music program, then the music program stays. And if they don't, then the music program gets cut. So literally, the entire school's music program's future depends on that cello. And then I figured, what if that cello got stolen the morning of the big event? That would be a big deal. So I was really happy when I came up with that because I found a crime that I considered a very good crime because it passed both of the tests that I'm describing to you. It's fixable because the cello can be found after it's stolen, and it's unbelievably important. So in the handout for this lesson or on your own piece of paper, take some time to brainstorm ideas. Think about all the different crimes that could happen in your mystery. It could happen in a school, if that's where you want it to take place. It could happen at a Little League field if you want something to do with sports. It could happen at home or in your neighborhood. Or it could happen maybe in a different city or different country, depending on where you want to have your story take place. So take some time to write down some ideas of things that will get stolen. And then after you have at least 5, I wouldn't stop until I had at least 5. I think that's a good number. Once you have quite a few ideas, decide which one is your favorite and put a star by it. And then in future lessons, we will take this idea and we will build on it to help develop your mystery idea.